The moment someone receives your product, it should feel as thoughtful for the unboxing experience as it did when you designed the product. I want every part of this collection to feel intentional. And for the customer, it's going to start with the packaging. This is in the making, season 26. One collection, two perspectives, every detail. Custom packaging is more than just an aesthetic. It's actually storytelling. And Living Proof's collection is a story. It's my story and it's many other people's stories that they've already lived out. The packaging is how you're going to create that experience for your customers to make them feel seen and heard. Almost like they're reliving a story that they've already lived out, but now it's in a positive way. And that emotional connection with that story then connects the customer to your brand. Now, I've sold clothing where it came in just plastic bags and there was no type of branding, no thank you cards, nothing. And I've also sold products that felt like a luxury experience where I invested a lot into my packaging. Guess which one people remember the most? Don't mind how I look in this video. Today is a chill day for me and I'm not getting dressed. I'm gonna be on this computer most of the day, just staring at this computer screen, creating my packaging. So I look rough, but that's not the point of this video. So I used to put a lot of effort into my packaging, but a couple reasons I ended up stopping that. I decided to stop putting in so much effort into my packaging. One, because I used to have a lot of packages that would be stolen when they were shipped, and that started to become a problem. So I started noticing if I didn't put any branding on my packaging, less likely packages would be stolen. It was almost like the branding on the packaging was an indicator. And then two, because I sell B2B, a lot of my customers, so my clientele, actually put their own branding on their packaging, whether it's through me with my private labeling or when I would send it to them, they would strip it away and put their own on there, which is fine with me. If you want your own hang tags on there, I'm perfectly okay with that. So I stopped putting that effort into my packaging, but I definitely want to go back into doing my branded packaging. The difference between now and then, I want to do it in a way where it's not overshadowing my clientele. So the boutiques and retail stores that I sell to, that way they can still brand the items with their branding as well, so their end customers know where they're buying it from. And also to re-strategize so that my packages aren't being stolen. For season 26, Living Proof is coming with it all. Hang tags, custom bags, boxes even for some products, custom garment labels, and so much more. I want this unboxing experience to feel elevated and luxury, but to still keep that same tone for Living Proof where it feels natural. So whether it's the boutique that's receiving their shipment or their end customer receiving the product at home, it's going to be felt from point A to point Z. Every part of this packaging is going to reflect the collection's vibe. So it's clean, it's natural, and it's elevated, and it's most certainly powerful, but with a soft edge to it. So even if it's as simple as the care label, I want it to be branded and I want it to feel like Living Proof. So in my previous video where we talked about packaging design, I kind of gave you the rundown of what it is I'm trying to do with my packaging and showed you some mock-ups that I had created as far as packaging ideas of what I wanted to do. It was almost like my mood board for my packaging. I'll show you quickly on the screen what it was that I created in the previous video, because you'll notice now that it's actually changed quite a bit. It's still tying into that Living Proof concept, the story that's behind this collection, but I needed to make sure it was cohesive with my actual brand for Nouveau Riche. So it needed to fit the Nouveau Riche branding, but also the story for this collection, which is Living Proof. I have this marketing campaign that I've created for my actual launch date, which I'm not going to share that information just yet. I don't want to share it. You'll actually hear it soon, especially those of you that are subscribed to like my newsletters and stuff and follow Nouveau Riche on social media. You'll see it. But I have this marketing campaign that's in phases, and part of the marketing campaign is about showing the evidence and showing the receipts, the proof of Living Proof. So you're about to see, as you watch me design my packaging, how the concept changed from before, where it was just like all natural. It was very simple packaging that I wanted to design before, to change it to, it's still natural, so the materials and things I'm using is still going to align with Living Proof, those natural fibers, but it still has that edge to it, that luxe to it, that screams nouveau rich apparel. So you're going to see the receipts and the evidence. And I wanted this campaign that I'm doing to be extremely loud, because the whole point of me proving to you that I am Living Proof through this collection is that my voice is no longer being silenced. Instead, I'm being very much vocal about my truth. So that's what I needed my packaging to portray too. I need every part of this collection to not only speak through the collection, but through the packaging too. So in a moment, I'm going to show you my design process for actually creating the packaging. You're going to get a sneak peek of this packaging in a moment. I'm wondering if I should show you my mood board. I have it on my computer right now. It has all my notes in here. I should show you like my actual brainstorming process and what I use, because I didn't do this in GoodNotes like I normally would brainstorm. This is actually in the Apple Notes app. I've been using that a lot more because they've upgraded it so much, and then it all syncs together. It even syncs with like my reminders and stuff and on my calendar. So I've been using notes in my reminders and calendar quite a bit now, and I've kind of been steering away from GoodNotes. I should probably show you guys that, but I'm trying to think, do I really want to show you all of this yet? Because I'm giving away a lot and gotta keep some mystery behind this. I can't show you and tell you everything right now, because it even has like my photo shoot concepts in here and everything, which you guys aren't seeing that yet. You're going to see that in the making, but I think I want to save some things for later. Well, let me just flip this camera really quick. You're gonna get like a quick flash. Okay, that's all I'm going to show. I'm not going to show too much. I do want to show you, but at the same time, I don't want to give too much yet, so I'm not going to show it quite yet. But it has all my brainstorming on here. It has my inspiration images on here of where all my concepts came from. Towards the end of In the Making, when I tie all this together, I'll actually show you this. But in the meantime, let's focus on the design process of this packaging. I start out with creating mock-ups for my packaging in Canva, but to create the actual packaging artwork that gets sent over to the factory, I'm using Illustrator. And I'm testing out everything: colors, fonts, sizing of it all, shapes of things like the hang tags. Because let me tell you, what looks good on screen does not always look good printed. So it's good to test it out. It's time for me to start designing my hang tags. And for the first time ever, I'm doing a hang tag for every SKU. I normally wouldn't do this because that is a lot of work, but today I am. So let's get this started. So the actual thing is not even going to be a true rectangle, but this is just to get me started. I want this line dotted. Oh, I'm gonna name my fonts too, because these fonts have to change. don't think that's gonna be the font. I gotta change this. I think I'll put the style number lower, or maybe put the style down here, and then also the size here. This one, I want this one to be more bold, I think. And then up here, I think I'm going to have the collection name. But I leave space to make the whole. I think what else do I want on the front? Leave space. Let's just move this down. But the whole purpose is that, I don't know, do I even want to tell all of that already? Let me move this up so. Then I'm also wondering, do I want this in color, or do I want to do that like black and white? Zoom in so I can actually see. A mock-up of this so you can see what it's starting to look like to give me an idea. So I had stopped recording for a while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. My hang tags are supposed to look like a receipt, but remember I'm also trying to turn the hang tag into like a mini journal. So right now this is what I have come up with. Oh, of course it doesn't want to screen record right now. What's going on with my computer today? So I'm just gonna record it on my phone so you guys can see. Sorry for the bad quality. But this is what I've come up with so far. Right now the material that's in the background, I don't know that I'll use that material just because this isn't a material you'll be able to write on. I think I'm going to use like a linen cardstock, but I have to still source the material. But I wanted to kind of give it a feeling of like a receipt. So like right here, kind of has like the total for the receipt, which is the living proof. I did want to include images on the hang tag for some reason, so I did put that in there, but I don't know that I want it in color. It'll probably be black and white because this is going to be a direct-to-garment print. I can technically do color since it is direct-to-garment, but I don't know yet. But I'm throwing that in there, direct to garment, for those of you that saw the previous video where we discussed prints. But then I just have like the collection details, and each hang tag will have a SKU. So for the first time, I'm going to be creating hang tags for each SKU. I normally don't do that because it's a lot of separate prints. But since Rich Stitch is doing this now, it's easier for me to do these type of things because I have more control and I don't have to pay all these setup fees for doing different hang tags. But then on the back is like the start of the journal process. So this is your receipt of proof, and it's I'm living proof that, so it's giving you like that journal prompt that you can start writing. I may keep the hang tag just like this, which is front and back, but I may extend it so it'll be like a full mini journal. I haven't decided yet because there's some other marketing things I'm going to do, so I may not need to turn this into a full journal because I'll have something separate, but I haven't decided on that yet. I'm gonna zoom out really quickly just so you can see what I originally had started with as my template and what I ended up with so far. I'm still not sure that this is exactly what I'm gonna go with. I'm kind of still playing around with it, trying to really think about what I want to do. I don't know if this is going to be the exact layout, still figuring that part out. But in the meantime, I had started working on a different component of my marketing. This is actually going to be my lookbook. Sorry, I didn't record the start of this, but I did switch over to Canva from Illustrator, and I just started. Again, I forgot I gotta record because I'm not screen recording. So I'm creating the lookbook. The lookbook is going to be basically a journal style lookbook because the whole living proof concept, so it's to fit the theme. There'll be a digital version, but I'm also doing some press kits that's going to include the actual printed journal in there, or lookbook I should say. This is not the cover. I'm playing around with the images to decide what I want to put on the cover. I wanted to show you guys as I'm working this, but for whatever reason my computer doesn't want to screen record, and I'm not about to sit here and hold this phone. So I'll just show you quickly what I have, and then you guys will eventually get to see the full thing done. I probably shouldn't be showing this already because you're already seeing the images of products before you actually even see the samples. Kind of jumping the gun here. That's a blank page for me to sort those images out. That's the cover again without the images. And then I'm creating some of my page inserts of what I want the inside to be, some different options of what the inside page is. So I created like this one. This is more like a planner page than a journal page, but it'll allow me to show like an overview of the different capsules. And then I have like the pages where it'll have this each style in there, but I want to do some different templates so it actually looks like a journal. And that's my brand page. I'm just gonna go through on here and figure out what I want on the cover so I can finalize this cover, because I don't know exactly which images are gonna go on here yet. And then I'm gonna create more of the page templates for the inserts, so that way when I have all the photos ready, I can insert those in, put it in the style numbers and all that stuff. So I'm sad that I can't show you guys me actually working because my computer doesn't want to cooperate right now, but at some point I'll record my process and how I create these things, so that way you guys can actually see the behind the scene process of what it is that I'm doing. I need to finish the hang tags once I come up with my final idea, finish the template for this lookbook. I have to do the boxes for the press kits. There's some other inserts that need to go into the press kits. I need to do the garment labels. I said I wanted to change my garment label, so a lot of that is done in Illustrator. For me, I do a lot of my garment labels, hang tags, all that stuff in Illustrator. What else do I need to do? Oh, there's some inserts that I want to put with every product aside from the hang tag. I need to create those. But I think that's... Oh, and then the ribbon that's going to tie each garment. Kind of how you guys saw in my first packaging video, which I'll link that if you haven't seen that yet, but I'll be doing something like that. The poly bags I've decided not to do, so I don't need that. I have enough of other things anyway. So there's quite a few things I need to go in and actually create the art, but you guys can see originally I start with just those mock-ups that I use AI to create, and then I come into Illustrator and I create my art. For those of you that don't have Illustrator, you don't have to do this in Illustrator. You can easily do this in Canva. I like to do my artwork in Illustrator just so that I can actually create vector art for printing, but for something like this where I know I'm doing direct to garment, I don't need vector artwork for this anyway. But something like my garment labels, I'll need vector artwork, so that'll definitely be created in Illustrator. Sometimes we need to do packaging on a budget, and packaging doesn't always need to break the bank. A few thoughtful touches can actually go a long way, as simple as just the custom hang tag and an insert that says thank you on it. It's not all about the pricing, it's more so about the presence. So you can always start small, just make sure you stay on brand. And then as your business grows, you can always scale that packaging. So let's talk budgeting and the pricing for packaging, because I know when it comes to packaging, especially branded packaging, that can be one of the things that gets eliminated for some brands, especially in the beginning stages when you are on a tight budget. Some of this packaging you can actually do at really affordable pricing, so you don't have to fully eliminate branded packaging. Maybe certain elements you don't do. So when you're starting out, you may just go with like your branded hang tags and your garment labels. Some may even skip branded hang tags, but I just want to run through kind of like an idea of price range when it comes to branded packaging. Sorry, somebody's texting me. I'm waiting for the noise to stop because my text messages come on every device. So my iPad, computer, and phone all go off at the same time. I have to wait for them to go. But when you're on the budget and you have to eliminate certain things or choose certain packaging elements that you want to do, don't get rid of branded packaging completely. If you can afford some of it, do some of it, and just choose the components that will make the greatest impact for your brand. So for some, it may simply just be a garment label. For some, you may need the hang tag more than the garment label. And if you're buying wholesale and the clothing comes with the original garment label, you can keep that one and then just do your hang tag. Or it can be the poly bag, but you'll keep the original branding from the original brand that you purchased from. Whatever works for you, just make sure it has the impact that you want it to have and it's not like you're wasting money. But as far as the packaging and the cost for each element, hang tags, depending on the type of hang tag you're doing, you can create hang tags between 75 cents to like $2 per hang tag. Again, it depends on what it is you're doing, but if you're going with like the basic hang tags, you can get them for like maybe even as low as 50 cents. I said 75 because I'm trying to give you realistic pricing, especially with inflation right now, but you may even be able to go lower. Just remember, the lower pricing is usually because you're buying more pieces. I'm giving you pricing between, let's say you need 1 piece to 1,000 pieces, even though most places aren't going to do just one hang tag, maybe a sample for you, but then their minimums probably are like 25. You might find some places that'll do 10, but expect to pay closer to that $2 per hang tag price. Garment labels, you would probably go as low as like 40 cents per garment label, maybe even a little lower if you do higher volume. I would say the highest price as far as a garment label is like $1 per label. You can do stickers as low as like 30 cents. Some places will do 25 cents, but just expect to be buying at least 1,000 stickers or more. But price range for those branded stickers, I would say between like 30 cents and $1. Honestly, wouldn't even go as high as $1. That's kind of expensive, but I will say 30 cents to $1 because it will depend on how many you're buying. The custom poly mailers is where those are a little more expensive, so that may be one of the things that you will eliminate. And when I say poly mailers, those are the bags that you would actually ship the garments in, because poly mailers and poly bags are two different things. But the poly mailers, I would say $1 to $3. Honestly, printing on the poly bag is probably about the same pricing, but just know that they have different purposes, because you don't want to ship in a poly bag. Use a poly mailer for shipping. Then you have thank you cards, which a lot of people do. I've done a video where I showed you how you can DIY those and print those at home. That'll save you a lot of money. But if you're buying them elsewhere, you can get those printed thank you cards anywhere between 25 cents and let's say like $1.50 to $2. It'll depend on the card stock that you're using and of course the quantity that you're purchasing. And then also the colors, if you're doing like full color or black and white. Custom tissue paper is another popular thing that a lot of people use for their branded packaging. That can run you anywhere between like 50 cents to $1.50 per piece. Again, there's variables in there that's going to adjust that pricing, but that's an average range. Packaging inserts like promo cards, that's similar to like thank you cards, so you can expect the pricing to be around the same unless it's a different size, because thank you cards are usually small, like index style cards. You may do a promo card that's a little bigger, so the pricing will be a little more. And then you have your branded shipping labels, which let's say that's between 10 cents and 30 cents per label. But again, I have multiple videos showing you some of the best thermal printers that you can buy at home, and then you can print your own labels. I've even shown you how you can get those labels free, although I need to check to see if they're still offering it free, because I know a lot of their supplies have changed. But for the branded packaging, each component is anywhere between, let's say, 20 cents and $3 for the various components. Now, pricing, as I've mentioned a few times already, will depend on how many pieces you're buying per component. But if you can budget, let's say $25 for stickers and maybe $50 to $100 on the hang tags, you already have two of those components that you can apply to actually start making that impact for your brand. So you don't have to eliminate it completely, but of course, this is going to depend on what your budget is. If you have absolutely no budget for it, you have no choice but to cut it out, and that's perfectly okay. You'll add it in when the time comes, or you find ways to DIY it at home with a thermal printer or using your regular printer at home, because there are ways to do that too. You just want to make sure you're really good at creating your graphics so it still comes out professional. So now that my packaging is designed, it's now time to think about how all of this comes together, because next I have to dive into my print methods. And when printing, I'm talking about embroidery, direct to garment, those type of printing methods that you'll use on the actual garments. Now, I've used them all in the past, but for this collection, I'm making very specific choices by garment. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and also Rich Stitch's channel, where I'll run through my thought process of my print methods and what's chosen for each garment, and Rich Stitch will be walking you through the actual printing process.